Hey guys, Sticks here again. Today I'm going to be giving you guys an early to mid game guide for those of you who are either just getting into the game or want a little bit of direction on where to go next. I think I can do a decent job explaining that. So I want to start this off by giving a little disclaimer. I have not been in the early game or the mid game for a long time. So if I get anything wrong or if there's something like about VIP level or something that you guys won't have access to that I do, uh, just you can kind of either overlook it or you can say something about it in the comments. I'll be sure to respond to every single one of you. And yeah, let's get into it. So first things first, which heroes to build? There are some heroes that excel in the early game and then do okay in the late game. So and I'm going to be giving you just a quick little guide on that. So first off, um, just in general, heroes like Idun or Nagakanya are just phenomenal healers. They're pretty easy to get. You can find them in the shop, in a couple of different places in the marketplace. Very good healers. We go over to tanks. You have like Athena is very, very good. Gaia will not die, which is decent. Hades is good. Pretty easy to get as well from the marketplace, if I'm not mistaken. Then we go to mages, which are kind of an underpowered class in my eyes, but whatever the case, Ganjang and Moye are a very good option. TNM is also very good, and then Izanami is another very good mage option. And finally, for tanks, someone like Athena is very good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, in the early game, you're not really going to have access to URs, so I'm really just going for SSRs first, and I think you should too. But yeah, some of those are some decent options for the early to mid game. Same thing with maybe Leonidas. Apollo will not die for you, so that's pretty good. But yeah, that's kind of generally where you want to be for team composition with these characters. Um, Seeing as in the early to mid game you will not have the resources to have more than one full power team, I would recommend going for something very, very balanced. So maybe one or two DPSers, one or two tanks, and then one, maybe two healers, depending on how the rest of those ratios go. And then just use that for all content. It will do you the best just in general. In the early game also, if you do have one hero that you want to do the most damage or you want to stay alive the longest, generally you want to go for a DPS. The best thing you can do is over level that hero. So as you can see, all of mine are synced up to 408 right now, and that's because after level 300 they all sync up. But before then, I know you level them up individually. So the best thing you can do for your team is to level up a specific hero, usually your DPS, first, and to a higher level than the rest until you get to that 300 point. So yeah, that's just a quick little tip on the heroes. Now, as far as summoning heroes goes, if we go into the Summoner's Sanctum, there are a few different options here. So we have the limited summon, we have the standard summon, we have faction summon, and then we have friendship summon. So personally, what I do, and I think this applies to literally everybody, limited summon takes precedent over all of the rest. This is just your best bet. I know right now I do not need Typhon. I have him fully maxed up, and therefore I have a bunch of diamonds saved up for whenever Marduk comes around again, because that's what I'm building right now. But if you're looking for a specific UR or SR, you can absolutely get them from here. You have a higher chance to get any of the ones that you specifically want, and I think that is the best option for getting any specific SSR or UR hero. Standard summon, I don't actually ever spend diamonds on. I usually just wait to do all my daily challenges, get the standard summon scrolls, and use them whenever I can. Faction summon, I never go out of my way for. And I don't think you really should either, unless you're specifically searching for one hero and you want as many copies as possible, or you're looking for SRs to enhance up to plus 30 or plus 20 or whatever you have access to. In which case, it is a good option. And then friendship summon is kind of just a once in a blue moon kind of thing. You get friendship points from being friends with people, and that actually segues directly into that, but I'll get to that in just a second because I also want to talk about the Astrolaba Fate. I have problems with the Astrolaba Fate. So if you go up to, I think here, yeah. So you can see the chances of getting any specific item from here. You can see that both of the heroes are at 1.5%. I personally think they're not that high. I really do. Like this feels like a scam almost every single time I spin it. Occasionally I'll get like a god spin that gives me 3 SSRs and a UR. That happened once. But other than that, like it's so rare to actually get what you want, and that's for 2/3 more than the normal limited summon. So I usually don't recommend the Astrolaba Fate almost ever, unless you're specifically going for a single hero in a limited amount of time, and this is the only way because they're not in the limited summon pool. So I don't think that's very much worth it. But early game, another thing that I want to mention, friends. I know it's sometimes people want to go for specifically people that they know or that they're around or they see in the game often, but honestly, in the early game, just get as many friends as possible. It's important to get those friendship points so that you can summon more from the friendship summon and therefore get more heroes to level up your heroes and so on and so forth. And also, at least try to make it so that they're active. Like, as you can see, I've got a few that haven't been active in a very, very long time, so I might be dropping some of those later, but yeah, generally go for active ones, ones that can actually help you get more of these friendship scrolls so that you can summon more, level up, yeah. Now, for farming certain items, Fable Angora, this is a great place to get any and all items. Always dispatch every single one of them. I have a dispatch all button because I'm a higher VIP level, but this is a great way to get any resource, any item, anything that you might need. It just takes a little bit of time. You can do it every single day. And currently there's a 2x event going on, which is even more helpful. So that's a good option for getting stuff. The muses can give you things. It's mostly just from the banquet. I'm still not 100% on how the muses exactly work, but from what I can understand, they give you flat bonuses as you level them up, and they're just kind of generally helpful. But yeah, muses are kind of by the wayside when it comes to getting materials, because what you can do is you can go into the marketplace, and as you can see, for me, every single day, because I have as much gold as I do, I always buy the XP, the Stardust, and then the Muse item, the antique stuff. I don't know why I forget what that's called, and this free slot right here, which changes every day. And of course, if you don't have the gold for that, you can go to the other places here. I'll go through each of these individually because they are very important. So for the guild coin here, the guild shop, you get these from participating in guild activities. So like the Colosseum, that's a very important one. You also get them from donating to your guild, which is what I do every single day. I go for 3 times, which is a total of 200 diamonds. If you don't have that option, you don't have to, but it does give you more of these for this shop. And that's important when you can see that it always has that 100 spin Stardust reward, which is very, very good. So, oh, and the equipment here. You can get so much equipment that resets every single day from here, and that can help to elevate your game plan significantly. So, there you go. For the Pantheon shop, so I really suggest you to do your Pantheon run every other day. For early game players, I absolutely would tell you to stay way clear of the Void Pantheon. Even as a very high level player, it is the most difficult content in the game by far. I don't recommend going into the Void Pantheon unless you're fully 100% prepared. With, I would probably say 20 or more of those acorns of these guys, because they just, it'll just wipe the floor with you. So do your normal Pantheon run every other day whenever you can, and then you will get these coins, which you can use here. Not only does it give you a bunch of rewards from the Pantheon itself, but you do get all of these coins, which you can use in this shop to get either more copies of heroes that you need, or divinity gems, or faith itself, or any of a number of things that are all helpful in advancing your game plan. Moving over to the arena shop, this might be the most important shop in the game. By just doing all of your arena challenges every day, you can get these arena points, which you can then use for buying anything in the shop. And as you can see, you have SR shards, you have the cube fragments, which you can use to level up the cube, and then you have all of these different heroes that you can select from, and every single one of them is helpful in some regard. So I definitely recommend doing your arena every day so that you can get those rewards from here. Tribute is not particularly important. It's kind of just a byproduct of summoning, and if you're summoning through the special summon or the limited summon or the standard summon, it won't really matter because this is, again, a byproduct. It just happens. And occasionally I'll get enough to get one of these, and I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool, but other than that, it's really not that special. Prestige, these... So I just kind of passively create these. I'm not... they come from, if I'm not mistaken, they come from the Colosseum, which you can use them here to buy antique stuff. You can buy equipment. You can buy seals. There's some things, which is, again, you should do the Colosseum every time you can in your guild. If you don't have a guild yet, you should probably find one because they give you so much in the way of kind of everything in the game. Even if it's not a very high level one, it's better to be in one than to not. And then for Jade, this will likely not matter to any mid or early game player because these are created exclusively by having duplicates of already maxed out heroes, which will not be happening in such an early part of the game, so there's really no need to talk about it. But another thing to mention, just in general, is like in the leaderboard, for example, go in every time you can, go in and like somebody as many times as you can. So it'll be 3 for each of these. You can click 3, and you can just do that once a week or once every 2 weeks or something like that. You can do the same thing in arenas. You can do the same thing in other places, I know. And those will give you more friendship points, which you can use for friendship summon, which is great. And then we go over to the Cube of Truth. So, as I mentioned before, you can use the cube fragments to level this up, but what this actually does is enormous. All hero bonuses, 7% health, 7% attack, and 7% defense. Of course, mine's pretty high level, but even just those incremental increases in the early and mid game can do wonders for the power of your team. So I absolutely recommend grinding these, at least in the early game, so you can get access to these super good benefits. It may take some time, but it's just extraordinarily helpful. Now, if, and this is very much an if, you absolutely do not have to do this. You can be 100% free to play if you'd like, but if you would like to spend any money at any point in the game, in the early and mid game, your first purchase, in my mind, in my eyes, your first purchase should 100% be this right here. The permanent subscription is the most worth it thing in this entire shop by far. Yeah, I don't know if it's the same price anymore. Back in the day, it was $20. But you could just buy this, and then you get 1,200 on purchase, which is already pretty good diamonds wise. And then every single day, you get 20 gears of time. You get 2 UR shards, which is great for those early game players. You get 1 of the privilege vouchers, which is helpful for the... Come on. Heavenly Gifts here. I keep forgetting what it's called, which can give you more benefits and more stats along the way. And it gives you, and this is crazy, it gives you 200 diamonds every single day. I have had this for many months, and it has probably paid for itself 6-7 times. It is so good. And very important if you're going to spend money at all to get this permanent subscription. It is by far the best thing in the shop. Now, lastly, the last thing I want to talk about really is advancing guild level. So once you find a guild that you do like, you want to go into it, and then you want to, if you can, you should contribute some diamonds to it every single day. What I do is I drop the free one, and then 50, and then 150, and then I call it a day. But that's because I'm in a very high level guild. You absolutely don't have to do that, but it does give you more of the guild badges, which you can use in the shop, and it gives you these Books of Mastery, which can advance your research center, which helps you in the Colosseum and Daemons and everything else in the guild. Fortune Altar just comes around every once in a while. You get some free stuff, which increases, I believe, with guild level, same as all the others. And then the Colosseum is the most important thing. You want to join in, you want to battle as many times as possible. Important thing to note about this, you generally want to fight battles that you know you can win as opposed to fight more. Because that will lower your ranking overall, even if you get more victory points by doing 3 that you lose. It's not worth it in comparison to the 1 that you win. So I would definitely recommend that. And then, of course, do all the daemons every single day. If you guys missed my guide on guild boss battles from yesterday or the day before, feel free to go look on my channel, find that video, and watch it for yourself if you'd like a little bit more of an in-depth guide on this content. And lastly, guys, don't get discouraged. I know sometimes you can look in arenas, you can go into the Gladiator arena, you can look at like Soul here, and you can see that this team is enormously powerful, right? Like there's 4 URs on here, and that sometimes that seems unattainable. It's really not. I promise it's not. Now, clearly, this person has spent a lot of money. That's VIP 15. That takes a lot of investment. But these people, this is a hobby for them, right? And you don't have to necessarily be exactly like them. Just grow at your own pace, and take it slow. Take it at your pace. Do things when you're ready for them, and don't look at these people and get discouraged. Don't think it's unattainable, and don't let them get you down, because in the end, who knows? Maybe you'll be beating them in arena soon, right? I've been working on trying to get up to the level of Dark for quite some time. Beating him once in arena would be really cool. But yeah, so outside of that, I think that's really all I want to talk about. I mean, quickly, a little bit more, you can do campaign gives you rewards over time. You could always want to advance campaign whenever you can. The Trials of Ascension, you want to challenge and then pillage these every single day. They give you so many resources. That's massively important. And then for the Zodiac Caverns, what I generally do is I challenge every single one of them. What you want to do is you want to challenge every single one of them until you can't beat the stage anymore. And then pillage whenever you need specific seals. So if I go into my bag here, you can see that some of them, or I currently have them all pretty balanced. That's because I go for the one that I don't have much of every single time I do one of these. So I get a kind of a balanced set. And then, of course, if you need specific ones for a hero, you can absolutely do that. And if you want more tips and tricks and guides on how to build up your heroes in any point in the game, I do have that video up on my channel as well from a little bit ago. You can go watch that if you'd like. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, that's really it. I hope this does give you a little bit more direction on where to go to find certain items, certain materials, certain heroes, and anything else in this game that could prove helpful. So thank you guys for watching so much. If you have any comments, thoughts, anything, if any of you want to see like money guide, like for what to spend your money on, feel free to put that in the comments down below as well. But yeah, thank you all for watching. You can like if you'd like, you can subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys whenever I do another one of these.